Miranda versus Arizona.
Ernesto Arturo Miranda was born March 9, 1941. It was in grade school Miranda started to make trouble and was seen as a problem child. Miranda and his father never got along, but it didn't help when his dad got remarried not long after his mother passed away. He was distant with his brothers and didn't care for his stepmother. His very first conviction was during his 8th grade year. The next year he was convicted of burglary and sentenced to 1 year in reform school. An 18-year-old girl named Louise Ann Jameson was kidnapped and raped on March 3, 1963. Just 10 days later, on March 13th, just 4 days after Miranda turned 22, his truck was reported to authorities by the victim's brother. He was then escorted by two officers to the police station. Then Miranda had participated in the lineup. After he was positively identified, he was then taken into the interrogation room and questioned for 2 hours, eventually confessing. When Miranda was being interrogated, there was no lawyer present on his behalf. Officers did not read Miranda his rights and proceeded to get a full written confession reading. This confession was made with full acknowledgement of my legal rights, and understanding any statement I make may be used against me. The prosecutors used the written confession as evidence in the trial against Miranda. Again, he was not aware of his rights to remain silent. Everything he told the officers were used against him. Alvin Moore, his court-appointed lawyer, objected for the fact that his confession was not honestly voluntary and should have been excluded. The objection ended up being overruled and Miranda was charged with kidnapping and rape. For each charge he received, he was supposed to serve 20 to 30 years consecutively.
Miranda appealed his case to the Supreme Court, which was reviewed in 1966. Chief Justice Earl Warren, a former prosecutor, delivered the opinion of the court, ruling that due to the coercive nature of the interrogation by the police, no confession could be admissible under the Fifth and Sixth Amendment. Miranda's retrial was on February 15, 1967. During the retrial, his ex-girlfriend Twila Hoffman testified against him, claiming that the crimes were true and that Miranda had disclosed such crimes to her while he was incarcerated. Then, in October 1967, Miranda was convicted and sentenced to 20 to 30 years in prison. This case has a significant impact on law enforcement in the United States today by establishing what became known as the Miranda rights, which is now a part of the police procedures to ensure that suspects are informed of their rights.
And the Miranda rights are 1. You have the right to remain silent. 2. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. 3. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you are being questioned. 4. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to you, represent you before any questions if you wish. 5. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. And the waiver is, do you understand each of these rights I have explained to you? Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now?